U.S. immigration laws have historically privileged married couples and sought to keep families together. According to Immigration Services, for immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, including spouses, visas are always available, but not all families are considered legitimate. The families of same-sex couples have been reviled as immoral and un-American and excluded from the rights of marriage and immigration. In response to gay rights activism, Congress passed the Defense of Marriage Act, or DOMA, and President Clinton signed it into law in 1996. DOMA defines marriage as only existing between a man and a woman. This legislation at the federal level means that even when same-sex marriage is legalized in individual states, gay and lesbian couples are not afforded any federal marriage benefits, including the ability to sponsor a spouse for immigration.
You can go to a wedding, you can see two people in Massachusetts or Iowa or Washington, D.C. exchange vows and rings and be legally married. And when you leave that reception, when the last toast happens and everybody goes home and that couple goes on their honeymoon, they are not married in the eyes of the federal government.
A same-sex binational couple is a couple in which one person is a U.S. citizen or green card holder and the other person is not. And so the other person in the relationship could be someone who is in the United States on a temporary visa. They might be in the United States without documentation, either because they entered without documentation or because they came on a visa and overstayed that visa.
It's a common expression in Spanish, but I have been living in the shadow. I'm afraid of being deported.
We applied for his green card, and we got a response saying that they weren't even going to look at the application because we were a same-sex couple because of DOMA.
I, an American citizen, am not allowed to sponsor my partner to become an American citizen. What do we do then? You know, if Ricky is deported, shipped back to Jamaica, I mean, that's terrifying in itself.
Not being able to regularize your immigration status, not being able to know if you can stay with your partner, and knowing that that's a price that you are paying for being gay is an excruciating harm.
I didn't know where she was. I couldn't find her. I couldn't see her. And they had told her in the room that she was coming here too often and that she was going to have to leave for a long time.
I felt like somebody was taking my life away. A really heartbreaking decision I've had to make this year is whether to stay here with my wife, Judy, or to go to my son's wedding in Scotland. Because the likelihood is that if I leave this country at the moment, with everything in process, that I will not and maybe never be able to come back
Shortly
again.
after we got married, my grandfather died. It was so shocking speaking with my grandmother on the phone. I mean, I had to apologize for not being able to be there.
When I look back and think at what my parents did to give me a better life, we immigrated from Cuba, we came to the US, and I remember my father saying to me as a kid, we're going to a land where you're going to be able to be free and have everything that you don't have in this country. The one thing that I want is to be able to be with Danielle and to be able to share our life together.
Until marriage equality is federal, you know, we still get the short end of the stick. A lot of people say, oh, well, we don't believe in marriage for gays, but we think civil unions are fine. Civil unions don't give us all of the rights and all the protections of marriage.
Today, the legislature debates immigration reform. DOMA is being challenged in the courts, and the tide is turning for marriage equality. Citizens continue working to ensure that the 36,000 same-sex binational couples currently in the U.S. and same-sex immigrants of the future have an equal place in immigration and marriage policy. The struggle for a just society is not over, but you can help by supporting full marriage rights for all citizens.